Hey everybody, it's the Abstractionist. I have another deck review. I feel like I lost like a subscriber or two, like earlier this month or last month. I think they were like, didn't you like do a poll on what content to do, and you did the exact opposite. It was like tarot deck hauls wasn't even selected. It was like dead last. I gotta keep doing it just because I keep my index. Anyway, this one is the Box of Emotions, 80 cards to make sense of your feelings. So, this is one of the few decks, like categories, that I don't like currently have anything of. So I'll do another video, probably right after this shit, of decks that I don't really jive with, the kinds of decks. And so, yeah, I wanted to get one that deals with emotions because I kind of feel like tarot does help you through a lot of emotional stuff, and not like we're psychologists or therapists, counselors, unless some of them have, you know, those credentials, but it is kind of nice to kind of like, as a human who's gone through stuff, like kind of give a perspective on a situation. In a way that's like helpful. And I feel like emotion cards kind of are helpful. Now, these are not the cards that I wanted. So the deck that I'm aiming for is called the Mixed Emotions deck. If I'm correct, I think it's called the Mixed Emotions Oracle deck or whatever. But I decided to get this at Barnes & Noble because I just felt drawn to it, and I was near the checkout, and you know they put a bunch of shit near the checkout. Anyway, it's 80 cards. It comes like this. So basically, it'll tell you. It tells you how to use it. Essentially, the front of the card, from how they explain it, the front of the card is like an image, colors and things like that. So you can kind of use color theory, which is another good thing. I think color theory really would be helpful. And then the back of the card kind of comes with an explanation of that emotion. So I picked a card, and it went through the history of like when it first appeared in the dictionary and what was going on at the time that this word was like being described and used, and then how it eventually was used to describe emotion. So I feel like that's pretty interesting because you don't really get like basic historic thinkings or historic writings, explanations when it comes to emotion decks. They just kind of explain, you know, some things. But I really like it. Of course, it's more within like the Western context, you know what I'm saying? Like Western, particularly like English, like context, right? Because there's certain things that like, no matter how you translate it, don't translate across cultures. Like you just have to be a part of the culture. This is a lovely mug I got from TJ Maxx. Cardinals are my thing. I saw one today, and every time I see one, my life is gonna change for the worse. I'm kidding, but it does tend to change. I tend to know I'm on the right track. So, it comes like this. It's already separated and divided. Each card is one of these words here, because I was like, well, how do I put this back in order? And I was like, duh, bitch, like it's right there. So it comes like that, and it's just like this, and then it'll look like this, right? And then it'll go from the back, and it's quite a long explanation, like, so you can really like process kind of like the context of the word with regards to like the reading or your daily pool or something like that, which I really like because it may It may not be like a mental, emotional, psychological, emotional. It could be more like psychosomatic coming through. And like if you have like a context that's like maybe picking up on that, like maybe you can kind of start to work through that. Like, yeah, that's right. Like every time I'm feeling like, say for despair, every time I'm feeling despair, I always feel like weak in the knees. What does that mean? What does that, what does muscle weakness mean? What does that mean as far as my life? What does that mean as far as how I'm situated within life, how I'm dealing with life, how I'm processing what's happening? What's going on? My Pinterest popped up an alert. But yeah, so I feel like I was just staring at the camera for 2 seconds, like. Oh God. Anyway, so I'm so weird. But it looks like that. So I'll go in the Zen category. So it looks like that. Kind of looks like these. So ow. Stop with you. So those that, and let's go to another one that's like a little bit more, I don't want to say serious, but one that you probably would get when you get like dark emotions, stuff like that. So this one's humiliation, pride, feeling like a fraud. This one is courage. So yeah, I think this is a great idea. I feel like, because I do have color cards, like Pantone color cards. At some point I wanted to be a fashion designer, and I thought that was going to be like a step in that direction. Like, have big dreams. Have big But no, like, I just use them from time to time. I haven't used them in a while, but yeah. So I am excited to use these. I probably will be using these on Enter Red Room, only because the readings over there will probably deal more with emotions versus over here. You guys are pretty straight over here. But I do think because there's like a body element to it that I probably will be using it over there. So yeah, this is what it looks like on the back. Lawrence King has like quite a few books. Like they're if you're into like art and stuff like that, the last time I checked on there, I think they have a lot of like art, like artists profiles, color theory, like philosophy on art. If I'm remembering correctly, because I've been on there before. I was like into a lot of like art, architecture. Like I used to like when I was in college, I used to like architects like a lot. And I went to an engineering high school. But yeah, I love like cerebrally creative people, I guess. So fangirl moment. Okay. But yeah, this is the box of emotions. 80 cards to make sense of your feelings. So yeah. So I hope you enjoyed this like quick, brief description of these cards. And hopefully I'll get the mixed emotions deck and we'll kind of like compare and contrast and then see how that works out. All right. Thanks for watching.